Today on Rappler. Heavy monsoon rains affect more than 1 million Filipinos. Senator Revilla questions an audit report linking him to Napoles NGOs. And 300 tons of radioactive water leak from the crippled Fukushima nuclear plant. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The death toll from the monsoon rises to 15, including the first death from Metro Manila. Most of those who died drowned or were swept away by floods. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, reports more than 1 million Filipinos are affected by the monsoon, enhanced by Tropical Storm Maring, international name Trami. By Wednesday morning, the storm exits the Philippine area of responsibility. Heavy rains batter Luzon for the third day Wednesday, shutting down schools and government offices and making many roads impassable. Damage to agriculture and infrastructure is estimated at 67 million pesos. Several towns and provinces declare a state of calamity to allow them to draw emergency funds for affected residents. State Weather Bureau Pagasa says the weather will continue to improve as the weekend approaches. President Benigno Aquino visits evacuation centers from areas hit hard by the monsoon, but the people say they need more than relief goods. Natasha Gutierrez reports.
Mahirap po, tapos wala po minsan makain. Naaasa lang po sa relief. Wala po kasi mga trabaho.
12-year-old Jan Curvy says leaving his home during heavy rain is hard, but not unusual. 6 feet of water had submerged his home during Tropical Storm Maring. This is his third time in an evacuation center, but this year is different. The President of the Philippines comes to visit. President Benigno Aquino III goes to Laguna, one of 4 provinces declared under state of calamity because of the storm. At the La Paz Elementary School, 328 families, or over 1,300 people, seek refuge. Some have been here for over 3 days. Aquino offers words of comfort.
Ready po inyong gobyerno, no, na yung dito sa calamity dito at huwag tayo mag-aalala, marami tayong resources pa para magagamit para maibalik tayo sa maayos sa lalo madaling panahon.
He hands relief goods to evacuees. Norlyn Garcia, a mother of 4, is grateful to the president, but she wants more than just a bag of food.
Nagpapasalamat po kami dahil nabigyan po kami ng konting tulong. Sana nga po yung hindi na yung mga wala pong bahay, sana po mabigyan na rin. Tsaka yung mga binabaha, yun po yung mabigyan po ng tulong.
After Laguna, Aquino also visits Mandaluyong Elementary School, where over 1,600 people are evacuated. They are just some of 35,000 families staying in evacuation centers nationwide, part of over 1 million Filipinos affected by the rains and floods.
President Aquino says the heavy downpour pushes the government more to carry out its plans and build preventive structures. With rains of this intensity happening almost yearly, the pressure is on the government to find lasting, sustainable solutions. Natasha Gutierrez, Rappler, Mandaluyong.
Residents of San Mateo, Rizal call for help as their livelihood suffers because of the incessant rain. Paterno Esmaquiel files this video blog.
Disaster affects the livelihood of the poorest Filipinos. We're here in Barangay Banaba in San Mateo, Rizal, where the livelihood of many people is raising pigs, which they sell for up to 7,000 pesos. They say every disaster threatens them because it makes it more difficult to feed these pigs, and it also exposes these to thieves.
Bayan po namin ay nababaliwala pagka ngayon sa baha. Kasi yung pagpakain ng alaga ko, mahirap pagka nabuhay namin pagka dito. Nasa tabi kasi kami ng ilog eh. Tapos binabantayan ko ng maigi para masipte yung panakawan. Kasi dati nag-undoy, nagkawalaan dito ng mga alagang baboy.
Kung lalamig, namamatay. Sobrang lamig na. Kagaya kahapon na bagyo na. Sa nalamigan, namatay sila. Pinatapon ko nga eh, kahapon.
They say they're sad because they're not receiving as much attention as other localities, and they would like the government and other NGOs to provide them with crucial aid to help them rebuild their lives after disaster. Katerina Rappler.
Heavy rain and flood affect more than 1 million Filipinos, and students are leading the way in relief operations. David Lozada reports.
Donations arrive at the Ateneo College covered courts despite the heavy rains. After the devastation caused by Typhoon Maring, students and administrators start relief operations for flood victims. Ateneo Students in Administration kicks into Dream Team mode whenever a calamity hits the country. DREAM stands for Disaster Response and Management. Sanggunian President Dan Remo says the students' response is overwhelming.
Really the need now is to try to identify what are the needs on the ground and how we can best help our communities. So that we really try to make sure that we reach out to them and make sure we get the needed supplies.
But Ateneo students are not alone. The Ateneo community joined various colleges and universities in Metro Manila in relief efforts for Typhoon Maring victims. They give food, clothing, and other items to hard-hit communities. In the University of Asia and the Pacific, students utilize social media in their operations. They post the relief goods they need and update the status of operations in social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. UANP student Erica Nang says the use of social media gives them a wider reach.
What's unique about UANP is that our relief operations has a special team just for social media so that information could be disseminated easily and more effective through the whole UANP community and even outside. That's why we also get donations from people we don't even know, who are not even part of UANP.
In the University of the Philippines, ISCOS and ISCAS lead relief operations. The National Union of Students of the Philippines organized #Tulong Kabataan to assist distressed communities near UP. But UP student Jerome de la Cruz says relief operations are only short-term solutions.
Tinitingnan natin kung ano ba talaga yung problema, kung bakit nagkakaroon ng biktima, nagkakaroon ng evacuees, yung problema sa pagkakaroon ng urban poor, ito ba ay dahil lang wala silang trabaho o kapabayaan ba ito ng gobyerno? Kailangan natin tingnan lahat yan.
Relief efforts from other schools can be found in rapplersmove.ph.
As long as Ateneo and other individuals are willing to give, the operations will continue. There's no shortage of enthusiasm from the community.
David Lozada, Rappler, Quezon City.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development says more than 340,000 people are displaced after torrential rain battered Luzon on August 18th. Around 163,000 people are in 501 evacuation centers across Luzon. Social Welfare Secretary Dinky Soliman says the agency is now focusing on delivering food packs to affected areas. The department allots 114.4 million pesos worth of emergency relief resources for affected regions. Rappler's civic engagement arm, Move.ph, is compiling a list of relief efforts to help the victims. If you're organizing a relief drive or accepting donations, let us know by tweeting us at MovePH or by using #ReliefPH. The death toll from the collision of a passenger ferry and a cargo ship off Cebu on Friday rises to 71. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council says 49 people remain missing. On Wednesday, divers recover 5 more bodies from the sunken wreck of passenger ferry Thomas Aquinas. The province of Cebu remains under a state of calamity because of the oil spill from the sunken ferry. Senator Bong Revilla questions a Commission on Audit report on lawmakers' alleged misuse of pork barrel. Revilla is one of the senators tagged in the pork barrel scam. Revilla's lawyer says the senator is willing to subject himself to, quote, an impartial investigation. He hires a handwriting expert to investigate the possibility the documents in his pork barrel allocations were falsified. This comes after several lawmakers point out a possible clerical error in the Commission on Audit's findings after state auditors report one congressman got 3 billion pesos in pork barrel. The report also shows Revilla's pork barrel went to non-government organizations linked to alleged scam mastermind Janet Lim Napoles. According to the report, Revilla released 853 million pesos from 2007 to 2009. 422.99 million of his allocations were channeled into 5 Napoles NGOs. Revilla's lawyer asks COA to furnish them a copy of the documents used in the report. Senate President Franklin Drilon backs the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee's probe into the multi-billion peso pork barrel scam. In a statement, Drilon says, "We heard the people's loud clamor for accountability from us and they will not be denied." Senators earlier agreed not to conduct a parallel probe, citing a conflict of interest. But on Tuesday, the Senate backtracks and decides to push through with the investigation after the Commission on Audit, or COA, released a report showing at least 6.1 billion pesos of lawmakers' funds were misused. Senators Juan Ponce Enrile, Jinggoy Estrada, Gringo Anasan, Bongbong Marcos, and Bong Revilla were tagged in news reports among the lawmakers who gave money to fake non-governmental organizations controlled by Janet Napoles. The COA report shows Estrada, Enrile, and Revilla were patrons of Napoles' NGO. The Senate Majority Bloc is set to file a resolution for senators not to avail of their pork barrel until, quote, stricter measures are installed. This comes after President Benigno Aquino announced Malacanang will hold pork barrel releases until the probe on the scam is completed. Japan issues its highest level warning over the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant after some 300 tons of radioactive water leak from a tank. Tokyo Electric Power Company, or TEPCO, says puddles of water with extremely high radiation levels are found near the water tanks at the plant. The radiation is the equivalent of 5 years' worth of normal exposure for a power plant worker compressed in 1 hour. In March 2011, a tsunami struck Fukushima, knocking out reactor cooling systems and sparking meltdowns. TEPCO says the toxic water might flow into the Pacific Ocean, quote, in the longer term, but adds it's working to avoid further damage. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 5, U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel will visit Manila on August 29th to 30th as part of a Southeast Asian tour of 4 countries. Hagel's visit coincides with the ASEAN Defense Ministers' annual retreat in Brunei. His visit to Manila comes at a time when the U.S. and the Philippines are framing a new agreement that will allow increased presence of U.S. troops in the country, including giving them access to military bases. At number 6, former Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf is indicted for the 2007 assassination of opposition leader Benazir Bhutto. It is the first time a current or ex-army chief is charged with a crime in Pakistan. Musharraf denies any involvement in Bhutto's murder. He says the charges are politically motivated. 4 suspected militants and 2 senior police officials are charged with Musharraf. And at number 9, nearly 1 million tickets for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil goes on sale online. The chase for tickets begins Tuesday, even though World Cup qualification is far from over. Tickets for the opening match on June 12, 2014 in Sao Paulo costs between $220 and $495, while those for the July 13th final in Rio de Janeiro costs between $440 and $990. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Wicked, Broadway's top grossing musical, comes to Manila. Jitonji reports.
A musical extravaganza bigger than Mamma Mia, Cats, and Phantom of the Opera is coming to Manila. Lunchbox producer James Kundal says Filipinos are clamoring to see Wicked.
And I really didn't think there was a bigger musical than Phantom of the Opera, but there is. And it's called Wicked. Actually, even more than Phantom, this is the show that people want.
A phenomenon that started 10 years ago on Broadway, Wicked makes history as the biggest grossing musical of all time. A parallel tale to the famous Wizard of Oz. Wicked tells the untold tale of 2 witches from Oz and their unlikely friendship. Elphaba and Glinda the Good sing the most memorable songs from the musical soundtrack. Australian Susie Mathers is Glinda the Good Witch, pretty, vain, and above all, popular.
Popular, please. It's all about popular. It's not about aptitude, it's the way you're viewed.
Australian Gemma Ricks is the wicked green witch Elphaba, sensitive and passionate. She defies gravity. Mathers and Ricks are looking forward to performing before a Philippine audience.
Yeah, we actually got our first taste of the Filipino fans in Singapore. We had a fair few people fly over to see us there. And then also I heard there was a petition on Facebook to get us here. So that's super exciting for us, knowing that we're coming to an audience that's going to embrace us with open arms.
Knowing that the audiences are going to enjoy the show already gives you a buzz, because to me, like, when you hear the applause, when you hear laughter, it just gives you so much energy, and you love what you do because you see how much it affects people. So I think that that's really exciting, and I can't wait to experience that.
Kundal says the props, sets, and costumes are the exact replicas of the Broadway play.
The wizard will see you now!
Besides the spectacle of a grand production, the cast says the story of Wicked will captivate Filipinos.
Elphaba has a heart of gold, and what she does gets misconstrued and miscommunicated, and so you see her as wicked, and it really does challenge the belief of what is wicked. And you know, there's love and comedy and loss and you know, all the good qualities of a great story.
Wicked opens at the CCP main stage on January 22, 2014, but only for a limited run of 3 weeks.
The Australian cast of Wicked in Manila promises to be the exact replica of the show on Broadway. Don't miss your chance to see this spellbinding musical. Jitanji, Rappler, Manila.
Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our viewers and our readers the most. If you take a look here, these 10 stories have the most number of votes on their mood meter. And it's interesting, most of them have to do with the pork barrel or the tropical storm and the monsoon. This one is about class suspension for tomorrow, Thursday, August 22, and you can see 55% sad, 16% happy, but 9% angry and annoyed. That red mimicking what you're getting here from most of the Napoles stories. But before we go to the Napoles stories, let's take a look at the 2 other interesting emotions: Pinoy humor, habagat, and maring. These are the memes that were inspired by the rain and the flood, strangely enough. 40% inspired, 33% amused, and advice: don't rev it, car care, flood, and monsoon. What to do when you're stuck in the flood? 71% amused. And of course, let's go to the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours on the mood meter. Pork for the President, Marites Vitug's piece on the pork barrel, fueling a patronage-based political culture. You have 92% angry. That red, contributing to the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that is Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, August 21, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today. We leave you with images of evacuees from Provident Village, Marikina City by Patricia Evangelista.
Nung lumabas po kami doon sa bahay namin, palabas pa lang po yung tubig sa drainage. Kaya nag-evacuate na po kami kasi ayaw na po namin maranasan yung habagat saka yung undoy. Kaya trumang-truma na po kami. Nung undoy po, hindi po kami umalis kasi nasanay po kami dati na baha lang po hanggang tuhod lang, hanggang baywang lang. Eh yung undoy po, hindi namin nakalain na lampas bubong po. Kaya doon kami na trauma talaga. Hindi po kami nakaalis, na-trap po kami doon sa loob. Kita ko po yung mga bangkay na nakabalot sa itim. Naku po, siyempre nakakalungkot po talaga. Ay grabe po, trauma. Wala, yung kung ano po yung bahay namin na yun na lang natira sa amin. Damit, lahat po, wala talaga. Kaya tuwing baha na lang po, trauma na talaga yung naabot namin dun sa lugar namin. Lakas ng loob lang po para makaahon uli. Hindi po kami malis kasi wala po kaming mapuntahan.
Sabihin nyo, wala na mamaya. Wala lang po, oo.
Mga gamit.
Baka malunod. Ano, boss. Gabot yung kamay nyo para
sa evacuation center po, kung ano, kasya-kasyahin na lang po namin kung sino makatulog. Eh, halimbawa, pag wala ng pwesto, So upuan na lang po, paupo. 11 family po kami dito sa isang room. Mga 20 mahigit po, magta-30 na siguro. Mahirap po kasi walang pagkain, ganun, mag-aantay ng donation. Kung wala, edi bibili na lang po kahit dagdag budget naman po. Magbabanyo po kami doon, bababa pa kami ng first floor. Sama-sama po kami doon sa banyo. Hirap po talaga. Pagtulog po sa gabi, yung mga bata, yun lang na priority namin para makahiga sila. Ay kami mga nanay, so puan na lang po. Pag bagyo po, nauna po yung mga asawa, anak, yung mga lalaki po naiwan po doon sa bahay. Taga-bantay, tapos matag-aakyat po ng gamit. Tapos pag hindi na po nila na critical yung tubig na mataas na, tsaka na po sila pupunta dito sa amin. Ngayon po, pakiramdam ko, kinakabahan po. Siyempre, parang ayaw na namin maulit. Kung ano mangyari naman po sa namin, kinabukasan, mamaya, pagbalik namin, bahay na naman namin, wala na naman mga gamit, ganun. Back to zero na naman po.